let's go ahead and kick off our core Lightroom 3 training. But rather than start at the very beginning of the Lightroom process, where we might talk about things like preferences or photo catalogs, let's have a little bit of fun and jump ahead to the Develop module so we can take a quick look at some of the important features for developing our photos. Now, of course, throughout the 3-hour training, we're going to take a look at all the different ways we can organize and keep track of our files. We're going to talk about the different tools for improving the look of our images, and we're going to talk about different ways to share our photos in an efficient way. But really, the core component of any digital editor is what it can do to improve the look of our photos, right? So what we have in this shot is a problem that is faced by many photographers. We've got a dramatic scene. It's a really beautiful landscape, but unfortunately, because of the time of day, it's very washed out. And this is something that happens a lot. Many times we don't have personal access to locations like this. When we go to places like the Nepali coast in Hawaii or go to other locations around the world, we're often at the mercy of other people to get us to those locations. And if you're working on typical business hours, that means you're generally going to be there sometime between 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you travel during the warmer months, that's going to mean the sun will typically be directly overhead, casting a very harsh light on the scene. It will also tend to make things a little bit more blue than you remember them when you look back at your digital photos. So that's exactly what we're looking at in this case. We've got a scene photographed in a harsh light, and it's basically washed out the contrast and made the cliffs a lot bluer than I remember them. We're going to take some quick steps to make immediate improvements to this image. The first thing we can do is open the crop and straighten tools. And as I go through all of these, I want you not to worry if I don't explain each button or slider. We're going to cover all of the features in the Develop module in detail in an upcoming chapter. For right now, it's just worth noting that I went ahead and quickly rotated the image and cropped up so that we have a little bit more dramatic composition. And then you can go into the basic panel to sort of set up your core or foundation of the corrections that you're going to make. So for example, if we have an incorrect white balance setting from the camera, that's something that we can correct right here, either by choosing a preset or by bumping the temperature slider forward a little bit. Now we also have a lot of different tone and contrast controls that we're going to talk about here. But maybe the more crucial control is the tone curve control. And just like the standard version of Photoshop, this gives us the ability to create point curves by working directly on the document. So right away, we've dramatically improved the contrast of the image. Our clouds are brightened up as well as the face of the cliffs here. And we have darkened up some of the canyon walls and ocean where necessary as well. We also have some HSL or hue, saturation, and luminance controls. And what these allow us to do are perfect the colors and also the luminance or brightness of those colors individually. So if I go ahead and turn this on, now all of a sudden we were able to go up and make the sky a little bit more saturated and darker without giving those same settings to other colors in the image. So we've got a separate color setting and brightness setting for the red rocks here, for the blue sky, and so on. So already we have a dramatic improvement with just 3 or 4 quick corrections. And if we want to, we can even use localized corrections, for example, to brighten up this cliff wall where the cloud shadow is overhanging here. So there's a lot of different things we can do in Lightroom 3 without ever touching Photoshop CS5, even though that's something that we're going to generally want to do. We can do a lot right here in the beginning to save us time later on. So we're going to talk about all these tools in great detail as we go through the Develop module, but I just thought this was kind of an exciting way to get things kicked off. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next segment.